this video is over Lesson 13, Decimal Word Problems. You will need your Lesson 13 worksheet with you as you do this video. Let's go ahead and look at number 1. Number 1 says each batch of cookie mix calls for 0.4 cups of sugar, and each batch can make 16 sugar cookies. If Mrs. R is making 4 batches of cookies, how much sugar does she need? Okay, so I have 0.4 cups of sugar for 1 batch of cookies. I am making 4 batches. So I want to know how much sugar for 4 batches. Okay, if you go back here, we can use our cubes method, where you circle all your numbers, you underline your question, you box in your keywords, you evaluate, and then you solve. Okay? All right. So if you look at your numbers here, our question here, it says how much sugar does she need for each batch? So I need the numbers for sugar, I need the number of batches. I do not need the number of sugar cookies in each batch. So I eliminate that extra information, and now I'm going to solve. How much? Now if you look at your keywords picture that I sent you a while ago, how much is a addition keyword? There are 2 ways to solve this, because you can add 0.4 4 times, which is repeated addition because you have 4 batches and 0.4 cups in each batch, or you can multiply 0.4 times 4. They will give you the same exact answer. .6 cups of sugar. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and look at number 2. Number 2 says that Mrs. R measured 1.43 cups of sugar. How much more sugar does she need? So we're going to need our number from number 1, which was 1.6 cups of sugar. I measured out 1.43. How much more do I need? Now let's use our cubes method. Let's circle our numbers. Okay, and we're actually going to use 1.6 as well, because I need to know how much sugar I need in total. Okay, underline your question, box in your keywords, evaluate and solve. Okay, so I need to know how much more sugar do I need. I measured 1.43. We know from number 1 I need 1.6. If you look at your keywords, one of them says how much longer, how much shorter, or how many more. So we can kind of combine those into how much more. So we're going to be subtracting. So I take my 1.6 and I subtract 1.43. Now you'll notice here, I need a placeholder. Do not put 1.43 on the top. 1.43, or 1 43/100, is smaller than 1 6/10, because the 4 and the 6 are in the same place, and 6 is bigger than 4. And 1 is the same. So 1 6/10 is bigger than 1 43/100. Okay? Because if I add a 0 here like I did, this is now 1 60/100. 60 is more than 43. I'm going to leave you to go ahead and solve that one. Let's go ahead and look at number 3. Mrs. R has 2 bags of flour. The smaller bag contains 0.75 pounds of sugar, and the larger bag has 1.14 pounds of flour. Oh, I'm sorry, that says sugar. This should say flour. I'm sorry. Okay, so that's a typo on your paper. That should say flour not sugar. Okay, because that could be misleading. All right, flour. And the larger bag has 1.14 pounds of flour. How much flour does she have in total? Okay, so you circle your numbers. Underline your question. Box in your keywords. Evaluate and solve. I have 2 bags of flour. One has 75 hundredths of a pound. One has 1 14 hundredths of a pound. How much flour do I have in total? It does not ask for that number. How much, if you look at your keywords, is an addition hint. So we are going to be adding 1 1/4 plus 0.75 or 1 14 hundredths plus 75 hundredths. You can line it up either way. Both are correct. Okay. So there's that for you. All right. Number 4. After she finished making the cookies, she has 0.945 pounds of flour left. How much flour did I use? So that means we need to take our number from number 3 and subtract this. Okay? Because how much did I use means we're losing some. So let's actually go ahead and solve number 3. We have 1.14 plus 0.75 gives you 1.89 or 1 89 hundredths pounds of flour for number 3. And number 4 is asking how much did I use if I have this number left over. Okay, and so this one was 1 89 hundredths pounds. Okay, how much did she use? How much? This is another, or how much is left over? Okay, how much is left? How much did I use? Okay, because we know how much is left. How much did I use? So we're subtracting. So you'll take 1 89 hundredths and subtract 945 thousandths. Okay, 1 is greater than 0, and then you will subtract. So that's how you would solve number 4. Okay. Let's go ahead and solve out number 4, which says 1 890 thousandths minus 945 thousandths. Okay, 1 is greater than 0, so this number would go on top. Then you would subtract as normal. We used exactly half, so that we used 945 thousandths pounds of flour. Okay, let's look at number 5. Number 5 says each batch of cookies weighs 8 9/10 ounces, and that should be OZ, sorry, not OX, so ounces. What is the weight of 2.5 batches of cookies? Okay, so you circle your numbers, underline your question, box in your keywords, okay, what is the weight? Or you could say, what is the total weight? Okay, or what is the total weight of 2.5 batches of cookies? And here we are going to be multiplying, or you could add multiple times. We're going to multiply. We're going to multiply 8.9 times 2.5. Okay, because you have 2.5 batches of cookies, and they each weigh, and a full batch weighs 8.9 ounces. So you would multiply that out. Okay, let's look at number 6. Number 6, you're going to need information that we found in number 4. Each cookie contains the same amount of flour. If Mrs. R made 16 cookies, how much flour does each cookie contain? All right, so we need the answer we found in number 4, which was 0.945 pounds of flour. Okay, and then we're going to circle our numbers. 16, 0.945. Sorry, that kind of overlaps there, so. Okay, and then it says, how much flour does each cookie contain? How much in each? So how much does each cookie contain? Okay, if you look at your keywords, how many in each? That's division. So you are going to be dividing 0.945 pounds of flour over 16 cookies. Okay? So you're dividing the total amount of flour by the number of cookies. So you would go inside and outside. Excuse me. All right. I'm going to leave you to go ahead and solve that one on your own. Don't forget to line up your decimal place before you start anything else, and then you can move on from there. All right, let's look at number 7. Number 7 is very similar to number 6, except we're dealing with the number we got number 1 because it was dealing with sugar. Each cookie also contains the same amount of sugar. If Mrs. R made 16 cookies, how much sugar does each cookie contain? So we need the answer we found in number 1, which was 1.6 cups of sugar. So we'll circle that number and we'll circle 16. How much does each cookie contain? Boxing your keywords. How much does each? And we are going to divide. So 1.6 divided by 16. Inside, outside. 1.6 divided by 16. Line up your decimal, and I'll leave you to solve that one on your own. Back to number 6 really fast. You will have, it does end, there will be 7 numbers to the right of the decimal. It does end, so keep going until you get to 0 as your remainder. All right, that was for number 6. This one was number 7. And let's look at number 8. Numbers 8, 9, and 10 all go together. They use all of the information that you can find up here. So let's read this. At a customer service center, a short call is defined as any call that is shorter than 5 5/10 or 5.5 minutes. The average call on weekdays is 6 4/10 minutes. The average call time on the weekend is 9 3/800 minutes. What is the difference between the average call time of the weekend and on the weekdays? This is number 8. So what we will need is, you can underline your question here if you would like, because it's the whole thing. What is the difference? Difference is subtraction. Okay. And we need to circle our numbers, and we need weekend and weekdays. So weekdays, weekend. Okay. So then you're going to take the larger number and put it on top and subtract the smaller number. And I will leave that for you. I'm going to erase my circle so we can move on to the next one. Since they're all using the same information, I'll use a different color for each question. Number 9 says, on a particular customer call, the customer spoke to one representative for 2 4/10 minutes and then was transferred to a manager for 2 9/10 minutes. Was this a long call or a short call? So here's your question. Circle your numbers. We also need to know what is a short call classified as, and it appears as a short call is defined as any call that is shorter than 5.5 minutes. Was this a long call? Now there's not really any keywords here, but we need to know what they were combined. So we need to know how long the customer was on the phone. So you're going to add those two numbers together. And then you will need to see, is it greater than or less than 5 5/10 minutes? All right, number 10. Number 10 says, on Monday, each customer service representative received 8 7/10 calls per hour. What is the average number of minutes spent on a call for each member of the staff? Okay, so they received 8 and 7 calls per hour, and this was a weekday. Underline your question. What is the average number? Okay. Averaging typically has to do with multiplication. So I know that's not on your keywords, but we're going to go ahead and multiply here. It was 8 and 7/10 calls. And they typically last on a weekday, because a weekday is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay. So Monday is a weekday, 6.4 minutes. Okay. So if each member of the staff gets 8 and 7/10 calls per hour, and each call lasts about 6.4 minutes, okay, you're going to multiply that and you'll receive your answer. Remember, you need 2 numbers to the right of your decimal because there's 2 numbers in your factors. All right, that is your entire worksheet. If you need any help, please go ahead and give me a call, send me an email. Tomorrow for your work, you have review, and I will create a video for that as well. So you'll have to get your review sheet and you'll match it up to the video. And we'll review for your test, which is going to be on Wednesday over decimals. All right, I hope this video was helpful for you. Please let me know if you see any mistakes or have any questions, or just need help on your worksheet. I'd be glad to help. Have a great day.